The following is a production of WCMP Sports. It's time for championship basketball here on KBEK. Tonight we'll see the Princeton Tigers getting set to take on the St. Francis Saints. Tip-off is coming your way shortly, but now we send it out to the court for the pregame. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's broadcast of Section Championship Basketball here on Nice 95.5 FM KBEK. I, of course, am Ethan Game Day Gilman, and I'll be bringing you all the action from this Section 5-3A championship matchup between the Princeton Tigers and the St. Francis Saints. Thanks so much for tuning in here this evening. It should be a good one between these two teams. Of course, these two teams did play during the regular season, and as we take a look at both these teams during the regular season, St. Francis, the number 2 seed coming into the playoffs, and Princeton, the number 1 seed by pretty much a long shot. Princeton finished the season 22-5 on the, 21-5 on the year, and then 11-1 in the section. St. Francis finished the season with 15 wins and 12 losses coming into this evening. And looking at St. Francis on the year, again, 11-2 in the section, 10-4 in the conference. They had an up and down year kind of to that midway point, and then they really got on a nice win streak here at the last half. They got a couple of win streaks put together, a nice 3-game win streak in 2 stretches there, where they beat Becker, Pine City, and Cambridge. They also beat Monticello, Big Lake, and Chisago Lakes. And then their last 2 games of the year, they beat Becker and Big Lake to end the season. They won over Monticello in the first round, 77-42, and they beat Big Lake 66-46. Big Lake kind of gave Princeton fits here during the regular season, so it was nice to see that Big Lake got eliminated by St. Francis. And St. Francis is a very good team, has a lot of length, a lot of height, and it'll be interesting to see what Princeton does to combat that. But Princeton has the highest scoring offense in Section 5-3A with scoring 82 points per game. And as we look around Class 3A, in the bottom half of Class 3A, they are the highest scoring offenses. And as we go along looking through the rest of Class 3A, they are the highest scoring offense in all of Class 3A, scoring, again, 82 points per game. They give up about 67 points per game. For St. Francis, they score about 68 points per game and give up about 67 points per game. That is St. Francis and Princeton. We are at Monticello High School for this evening's game between the Tigers and the St. Francis Saints. And again, it should be a good one here this evening. I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman, and I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I want to thank all the fine sponsors before we get moving. Thank you to all of them for sponsoring tonight's broadcast, because without them, we aren't able to come out here and broadcast this game. So thanks so much to all of the fine sponsors here this evening who sponsored this broadcast. Again, can't do it without them, so thank you so much to all of the fine sponsors. We are courtside for this game, so I'm sure we'll have our fair share of basketballs coming our way this evening, as I am literally courtside. I am about, a foot and a half, 2 feet off the boundary line here on the near side of the court, what would be the north side of the court. So it's very interesting. It'll be very interesting to see how many balls get thrown towards the computer and how many heroics I'm going to have to play here this evening. I'm sure not too many, but we are right courtside, and I'm excited here for this one. It's always fun to be courtside at these types of games because, first of all, you get to see the action up close, and second of all, there's always that fun adventure of seeing how many balls can you keep away of the equipment and not allow to hit the computer. So it'll be fun here tonight. But yeah, looking at this game here, looking at Princeton's schedule again, 22-5. They got their first round bye, then they got the win, so they end the season at regular season, at 21-5. And looking at it, they had a very good start to the season. They started the season 6-0 before suffering their first loss to Cambridge Isani by 10, 98-88. Then they went on a 2-game win streak before losing their second to Ricori by 4. They lost to Columbia Heights again by 4. Then they would go a while without losing. And as we take a look, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games before suffering back-to-back losses to Chisago Lakes and Delano. And that was weird. It was again, they are one of the highest scoring offense in Class 3A, but they fell in back-to-back games to Chisago Lakes, who gave them fits their first time around. But it looked like Princeton was going to be able to handle them fairly easily, but Chisago Lakes came in with something to prove, and they did, as they beat them by 11, 96-85. And then the next game, they fell to Delano at Delano. Now, that's not an easy team by any stretch of the imagination, but it was a team where you felt like Princeton was going to have a comeback game after losing to Chisago Lakes, but they wound up losing by 8. So it was a very interesting game, but then they came back and really handed it to Fridley on their last game of the season. They got the victory there, 104-76 over Fridley at home. So the end of the season, not only with a win, and a huge win at that, but also a win at home to end the regular season, 21-5. Then they beat Becker in the first round of the playoffs, 67-59. It was a lot closer game than I think a lot of people hoped it would be. As we as we take a look back through the season, they played Becker twice, and in their wins, it was an 81-57 win back in late January, and then here in late February, they beat them again, 85-58. So to see that 67-59 score was a little bit of a surprising number to see for a lot of Princeton fans and a lot of people who were watching that game, expecting it to be a little bit more lopsided in favor of the Tigers. But the Tigers got the win no matter what, and they're here in the championship game of Section 5-3A, and that's all that matters. Becker beat Zimmerman to get here, and St. Francis, they beat Big Lake, and Big Lake beat Chisago Lakes to get to that point. But it is Princeton and St. Francis, the number 1 and 2 seeds here in this game. And again, it should be a fun one here this evening between these two teams. Again, it'll be a matchup from the regular season. And as we take a look at their regular season matchups, they played twice. They beat them the first time around, Princeton, at St. Francis, 59-52. The second time around, they beat them by 20, 83-63. So Princeton's hoping to get another big win here this evening, and they're hoping it'll be a little bit more lopsided like the second time around rather than the first time around where it was only a 7-point victory. And the winner of tonight punches their ticket to the state tournament. Over on 100.9 FM, Joe Lattimore's calling a game over there. He's calling the championship game of Section 7-4A between the Cambridge Isani Blue Jackets and Andover Huskies. That should be a good one over there. I'm sure that's over at Chisago Lakes, and I'm sure that gymnasium is packed as well as this one is, and that one should be loud. It should be fun. Of course, Cambridge Isani came in as the 3 seed. They beat Forest Lake 63-60, then beat Duluth East 73-54, and over the clear number 1 seed, they beat Coon Rapids 97-48, and then beat Anoka 99-82. So Cambridge Isani is going to have their hands full in that one, but again, their defense has shown out here in the playoffs and as of late, and I bet Cambridge Isani will give Andover everything they can handle and more. And if Cambridge Isani wants to punch their ticket to the state tournament, they got to beat Andover. But again, it is doable over there in that one at Chisago Lakes High School. If you're just joining us, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. We are out here at Monticello High School for this Section 5-3A championship game between the Princeton Tigers and the St. Francis Saints. It should be a good one here this evening. Again, these two teams played during the regular season twice. The first time around, the Princeton Tigers got the victory by 7, 59-52. But then the second time around, it was a 20-point victory for the Princeton Tigers, 83-63. And if you're a Princeton fan, I'm sure you know this already. But for those of you who aren't, we want to let them all know. So for St. Francis, though, I think what they're looking at doing here in this one is trying to hold down this high-powered offense of Princeton and make sure that they don't get in rhythm early on. Again, if you listen to any broadcast that I have done with anyone here in the playoffs, we've talked about fast starts. We've talked about getting out of the gates quickly, and I think for Princeton, that's something they're going to want to do tonight, is get a fast start, get into rhythm early and often, obviously score early and often, but they want to get into rhythm quickly here this evening so they can get out front real early and not let St. Francis catch up. For St. Francis, I think that's the exact opposite. You want to hold Princeton off that fast start. You want to make sure they don't get anything easy early and often, and you want to make sure that your team gets out to the fast start, kind of get Princeton out of their rhythm early and often. Looks like we're just about set for our pre-game festivities to be over. The warm-ups are done. Now we'll get our national anthem and our starting lineups. And when we come back, we'll be set for tip-off here on Nice 95.5 FM KBEK in the Section 5 3A Championship between the Princeton Tigers and the St. Francis Saints.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
Hanson Power and Lighting is your complete service electrical contractor, servicing residential and commercial for service calls, remodels, and new construction in your community. Now offering backup generator setups, electrical vehicle chargers, service upgrades, and underground feeders to outbuilding and pole sheds. Have an electrical project that needs a professional to handle it? Then let the experts take care of it for you. That's Hanson Power and Lighting. Give them a call, 612-369-5991.
Kettle River Pizza, the handcrafted pizza made locally in Ash Cove, Minnesota. Always the highest quality ingredients. Pizza that is consistently great tasting. A true crowd pleaser. 16 varieties to choose from. Enjoy the classics like pepperoni, pepperoni sausage and supreme, to the unique tastes of hot Hawaiian, taco, buffalo chicken, and chicken Alfredo. Pick some up at your local grocer, tavern, or convenience store. Handcrafted Kettle River Pizza. Moms and basketball players approved.
Keep your home or business comfortable this winter by getting a furnace tune-up from Dale's Heating and Appliance. A tune-up from Dale's will keep your furnace running at peak efficiency so you can stay warm all winter. And Dale's offers financing on new heating systems as well. Your hometown heating expert is Dale's Heating and Appliance. Avoid costly repairs and call Dale's Heating and Appliance at 320-629-3531 or find them online at dalesheatingandappliance.com. dalesheatingandappliance.com.
Back here on Nice 95.5 FM KBEK. And now looking at your starting lineups here for the St. Francis Saints, who are head coached by Kyle Waterworth. It'll be number 1, Derek Stone. Number 3, Landon Pavlitsky. Number 5, Matthew Bothan. He's going D1 basketball. That young man's a very good player. He is the all-time leading scorer for the St. Francis Saints, so congratulations to him on that. He actually did that against Pine City, a team who I call rather often, so very good player in his own right and very, very big. He'll be a big presence for the St. Francis Saints tonight, obviously one of their impact players. Then it'll be number 11, Wesley Johnson, and number 33, Brady Johnson as well. For the Saints, they're wearing their white away uniforms, their blue numbers, and their white letters outlined in that St. Francis Saints blue. On the other side for the Princeton Tigers, who are head coached by Brett Cloutier, that'll be number 3, Reese Struby. Number 10, Graham Peterson. Number 22, Aaron Kekal. Number 35, Cooper Drews. And number 55, Christian Williams. They will be wearing their home black uniforms with the orange letters and numbers outlined in white here this evening. 18 minutes are up on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics custom braces or Invisalign with 3 locations in Pine City, Lindstrom, and Cambridge. EmbraceMN.com. We are getting our reserve players announced here before the starting lineups. Again, we're at Monticello High School for this Section 5 3A championship game between the Princeton Tigers and St. Francis Saints. I'm seeing a lot of food pass by me. My goodness, I might have to get some at halftime. That's a big slice of pizza. Inner fat me speaking here. Not anything close to important for the game. I'm just hungry. But hopefully you made either the safe drive up here or you're listening on the radio or listening on our YouTube. Either way, we hope that you're enjoying your evening. And again, thanks for tuning in to 95.5 FM KBK or online at kbk.com with audio only. And again, we want to thank all of our fine sponsors. It's a pretty packed gym here this evening at Monticello High School. I've been here once before, and I think it was for my sister's dance meet that they had. And it's a big high school. You walk into the front doors, and my goodness, you're greeted with a wide open space. It's pretty cool to see. This is first time on the gym floor, and again, I'm courtside, so I've got a clear view at what would be, I believe, the west, the basketball hoop facing west. So we're getting our starting lineups announced. St. Francis are getting their players announced first. Again, I was able to call one game for St. Francis against Pine City. They did a pretty good job there. Matthew Bothan really took over. He was just insane. And a very good player. I was able to call Princeton last year. I was able to call their semifinal and championship games on their way to state appearance. They do have some of the players that I recognize, some players, names I recognize. So, again, we are here, Monticello High School. And you're listening to 95.5 FM KBEK. Here we go. Our starting lineups have been announced. Pre-game warm-ups are over. The national anthem has been done. And we are set for tip-off here in this Section 5-3A championship game on 95.5 FM KBEK. Here we go. Just about set, just getting our final words here. And both teams make their way to center court. It will be obviously Bothan and Kikau at center court for tip-off. Bothan has the height advantage, but let's see what Kikau can do. Here we go. There's the whistle, and we are underway in the Section 5-3A championship game. Saints will win tip-off. It'll be Wesley Johnson who will take it up the court now for the Saints. He passes it off on the far side here to Brady Johnson. Brady's going to look to drive inside, gives it off now on the near side to Pavlitsky. Bothan has it now, top of the key, gives it off to Pavlitsky. Pavlitsky goes far side corner to Brady Johnson. Brady Johnson, top of the key now to Stone. Now we're to Pavlitsky. Back to Bothan. Bothan guarded. Now he's double teamed. He passes it off to Stone on the far side. That's Derek Stone wearing number 1. He looks to drive inside, puts up a shot. It's going to drop through for 2, and that'll give the Saints the early 2-0 lead. But here come the Princeton Tigers. It'll be Cooper Drews with it. Drews looks, pass it off near side corner. Christian Williams, 3 off the mark. Going to be rebounded there by Struby, and then that one's up, no good. Rebounded by Aaron Kikau, who puts it back up and in for 2, and it'll be tied at 2 now. Saints looking to get up court, a little bit of three-quarter pressure from the Tigers. Now over here to Derek Stone. He looks for 3. That's going to be off the mark, and rebound there by Aaron Kikau. Kikau, he'll give it off on the far side. That's Peterson, Graham Peterson. He'll switch around, look to drive inside. On the near side, gives it to Christian Williams. Back up, top of the key to Graham Peterson. Peterson looks to get around the defense. He drives inside, now backs it out to Kikau. Kikau underneath the basket to Christian Williams, who puts it up and in for an easy 2 for the Tigers. That gives them now a 4-2 lead. A little bit of three-quarter pressure here from the Tigers, and that ball is going to go out of bounds, and the ball will go back to the Tigers. Great pressure there put on by Princeton. And the ball will go out of bounds, and Princeton will get it back on a turnover. They lead 4-2. They'll look to extend their 4-2 lead as they get the ball back. It's going to be Graham Peterson taking it up the court. He gives it off top of the key to Kikau. Now on the far side, Christian Williams. He gives it off. Cooper Drews, and that one's going to go off of a knee of Drews, and that'll go out of bounds. And it will go back to the St. Francis Saints. So Princeton has that opportunity to go by the wayside. It goes out of bounds off of a knee. And the Saints catch a break. Derek Stone takes it. He's going to be double teamed. Gives it off on the far side to Johnson. That's Wesley Johnson. Wesley Johnson double team. Now gives it off to Brady. Brady, he looks to drive inside. Puts up a shot. He gets the friendly roll as it falls through for 2. That'll tie it at 4. But quickly back up the court are the Tigers. It's Drews. Drews gives it off now to Struby. Now to Kikau. Kikau, top of the key. Back to Peterson. Peterson drives inside and going to get a foul here on St. Francis. So St. Francis will get their first team foul. And I believe they called Derek Stone for the foul. That'll be his first, team's first. Princeton will get it inbound at Kikau. He looks, he'll give it off to Peterson. Peterson looks to drive inside, back outside of Christian Williams on the near side corner. He'll give it back here to Peterson. Peterson gets through some traffic, tries to drive, puts up a little floater. That one's nowhere close, and it's going to be taken away by Pavlitsky. Pavlitsky will get it back for St. Francis going the other way. Derek Stone, he finds a lane. He'll give it off to Bothan, up and in for 2. Those are his first points, and the crowd for St. Francis erupts. They are absolutely in love with him, and there's a good reason why. Very good player. Peterson has it now. He's going to take it to the basket himself. A little bit off the mark, and Pavlitsky gets the rebound here for St. Francis. He takes it up the court. He loses the dribble a little bit. He finds his footing and gives it back to Wesley Johnson. Johnson back to Pavlitsky in the far side. Now top of the key here to Brady Johnson. On the near side corner for Wesley Johnson again. Bothan for 3. That rattles through. And Bothan gives the Saints a 9-4 lead now in this first half with under 14.5 to go. Tigers have it back. It's going to be Drews. Drews looks, tries to drive inside. He backs it out. He loses it. It's going to be stolen away here by Wesley Johnson. Johnson takes it all the way, puts it up. No good. Rebound and put back for Derek Stone. That'll make it 11-4. St. Francis has got out to a hot start. Princeton had the opportunity to, but a couple of turnovers here have given St. Francis. Struby with it. He gives it off now. Cannot see, I got the ref in my way, but that's what you get being courtside. Got a little bit to deal with. And that shot is no good. Pavlitsky, another rebound here for St. Francis. He'll go it off far side to Wesley Johnson. Now he'll take it up the court, trying to get by the defender. He'll take it all the way to the basket. That shot's going to be no good. Shot is called off. We're going to get our first foul here, I believe, on Princeton. Saints lead 11-4. 13:45 to go here in the first half. That foul is going to be on Struby. His first. Struby will get his first. And we got a substitution here for the Tigers, but I didn't see who it would be at number 20. And number 20 for them is going to be Cash Pettit. And that ball is going to go out of bounds, and it will go back to the Princeton Tigers, and they'll get it back now. And Saints get a substitution as well. It's going to be Caleb Schoenrock. So Princeton back on offense is Peterson with it. Gives it off near side to Pettit. Pettit tries to go inside here to Kekal. Kekal tries to drive inside. Backs out to Christian Williams on the far side. Now top of the key here for Drews. Drews trying to get around. He's calling for a screen. Tries to get around the defender, but the defender right there in his way. Kekal gets it back. He gives it back to Graham Peterson. Peterson tries to drive in. Great defense here by the Saints. Peterson, he looks. He'll give it inside now to Kekal. Kekal tries to spin around. He's got the defenders right there. And Christian Williams, that pass to him goes through his hands and out of bounds. So back to St. Francis now. And the Saints have it back with an 11-4 lead. 12:53 to go in half number 1. Wesley Johnson gives it off now to Derek Stone. Stone double teamed. He gets through the double team. Now gives it off to Wesley Johnson, far side. Goes inside to Bothan. Bothan guarded well. He's trying to spin, puts up a shot, banks it in for 2. And that is just so tough when you've got Bothan inside and he gets positioned like that. 9 times out of 10, he's going to get that one to fall. He's got such long, lengthy arms. Again, there's just almost no stopping that shot from him. We're going to get a timeout here from the Princeton Tigers, and Brett Cloutier, it'll be their first. They'll be left with 4. So the Tigers will use their first timeout here in the first half with 12.5 minutes to go on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. The Tigers trail 13-4 in the first half. 9 points down, and not the start the Tigers were hoping for, but I'm sure they are working on a game plan right now to get through this defense of the Saints. And the Saints right now, it's not that the Tigers are playing bad offense. The Saints right now on defense are just playing better defense. They are making everything. They're suffocating right now, the Tigers offense. That's plain and simple. They are just giving the Tigers no lanes to drive through. And even when they seemingly have a lane, it's closed up in the blink of an eye. Tigers will get set to inbound. It's Cooper Drews who gets it in here to Kekal. Kekal now off to Williams. Williams, You get it off now to Drews for three. That's no good. That one's going to be knocked out of bounds and last touched by the Tigers. So no good on the three attempt there from Princeton, and it will go back to St. Francis. Well, the Saints will start it up the court with Wesley Johnson. Johnson looks, he'll bring it to the far side now. He'll work back top of the key. Now it shifts back to the far side. Gives it off to Stone. Stone at the top of the key. Gives it off here to Schoenrock. Now to Brady Johnson. Brady Johnson almost lost it. He's looking for Wesley. Now gives it off to Wesley. Wesley guarded well. Gets around the defender. He has a lane to drive inside. Backs it out far side corner here for Johnson. That's going to be no good. And rebounded there by Cash Pettit. Pettit, he'll take it. And to the basket, it's Kekal for two. Kekal for two makes it 13-6, but Saints have it back, 11:40 to go. Wesley Johnson on the far side. Looks, gets around one defender, stops, tries to give it off. It was tipped, but he holds on to it. Now gets it off to Stone. Stone on the far side goes inside to Bothan, and Bothan again. He makes sure he doesn't get inside. He'll pass it all the way across the court to Wesley Johnson. Johnson will get it off now to Brady. Brady Johnson, top of the key to Bothan, and he can hit from there. He will, and that shot's going to be no good. Rebounded that time by Kekal. Now quickly down the court to Pettit. Now top of the key here for Graham Peterson. Pettit for three, near side. That's off the mark, and rebound going to be taken in by the Saints. That's Schoenrock. He'll get the rebound. He'll give it off to Wesley Johnson back up the court. Looks for a lane. He had a lane. Now gives it off instead to Schoenrock. Schoenrock to Bothan. Bothan for three. He drops it through. Bothan is such a special player. He can hit from anywhere. He's a big guy. He can drive inside, but he can also do it from outside. And now we're going to get a foul here on St. Francis. It'll be their second team foul. And we'll see who this one is on. Johnson, Wesley Johnson, his first, team second. And Cooper Drews at the line to shoot two. Princeton trails by 10 with 10:43 to go here in the first half. Drews hearing it from the student section of the Saints. And got a couple substitutions here for the Saints. It looks like number 15, Jackson Skogquist, checks in. Rupert Drews does not get the friendly roll, so he only hits one of two, but getting the rebound that time is Princeton, and then a three from Graham Peterson to cut their deficit down to 6, 10.5 to go, but Bothan quickly getting back into the front court. He gives it off to Schoenrock. Schoenrock inside. Going to get a travel call on Schoenrock, and Princeton will get it back. So a big three in the front court, and then they get a travel call, and they'll get the ball back, trailing by 6 with a chance to cut it down to 3. 10:20 to go now in this first half. Princeton trails by 6. They bring it up into the front court. Graham Peterson gets around one defender. He'll take it to the basket. Oh, a little too strong on that layup, and Bothan, that's the easiest rebound he'll get in his career. Saints back up the other way. It's a three that time. It's going to be well off the mark and rebounded by Cash Pettit. And that ball is loose, and Princeton comes up with it. It's Peterson. Peterson brings it up the court into the front court now for the Tigers. Peterson gets a screen. He'll give it right back to Kekal, and Kekal on the far side gives it off. Top of the key, Cooper Drews, step back three. Almost got the friendly roll. Now we're going to get a foul here on Princeton. I believe that one's going to go against Kekal. That'll be their team's second and Kekal's first. Saints have it back, and Bothan just in great position there. And he puts himself in such good position, almost impossible to get around him at times. Brady Johnson has it. He'll give it off now to Schoenrock. Now to Pavlitsky. Bothan, top of the key. Skogquist wanted to drive, instead gives it off on the far side. Three, no good. Rebounded by Drews. Quickly up the court goes Christian Williams. He puts up a shot. It's no good, but he'll go to line and shoot two. It'll be the third team foul now on St. Francis. And that one's going to be Landon Pavlitsky will get his first and the team's third. 9:19 to go here in the first half. Princeton trails by 6. 16-10 is the St. Francis lead as Christian Williams is at the line to shoot 2. Williams' first one is up and good. Make it 16-11. And no good on the second, and that's going to be an easy rebound there for the Saints. Now they're back in their front court with Skogquist. He gives it off to Stone. Stone backs it out to Skogquist. He'll circle the perimeter, now give it off to Brady Johnson on the far near side rather. Gets it back, Pavlitsky looking, he'll pass it off top of the key to Stone. Stone, far side, Skogquist, now to Brady Johnson. Brady Johnson goes top of the key to Pavlitsky. He'll give it off now to Stone. Stone looking to drive inside, stops on his drive, back out to Bothan. Bothan will drive inside himself. Stops on his drive, puts up the shot, got it to fall. Again, his length is such a big asset to him and that team. But here comes Princeton quickly, and Cooper Drews kind of he stopped, and his ankle kind of fell out from underneath him. Shot is no good. Drews with the rebound. Shot is no good. Rebound again. And it's still up for grabs. We're going to get a jump ball. That possession arrow favors the Tigers. So a scrum for the ball there as Princeton will get the benefit of the possession arrow. Looks like we'll get a substitution here. Christian Williams will check out in for him as Reese Struby. Yeah, Cooper Drews, he stopped on his drive, and it looked like his knee or his ankle kind of awkwardly gave out, and now we'll get a foul here on Princeton, and it'll be their team's third, the second for Struby, and St. Francis will get it back, leading 18-11 with 8:11 to go here in the first half. Little three-quarter pressure here from the Tigers, but they drop out of that real quickly, and now it's Wesley Johnson. He drives, gives it off to Stone. Stone looks, he'll drive inside, backs it out on the far side to Schoenrock. Schoenrock, he looks to drive inside now into the paint, spins around, looks to put up a shot, got the defender to move, and his shot's no good, and it's going to be rebounded there by Cash Pettit. Pettit will give it off to Graham Peterson. Peterson up the court. He gives it off to Keekall, Now driving in is Drews. Top the key for Graham Peterson for 3. That's off the mark. And Bothan, easy rebound again. Right now, the Princeton Tigers just can't hit from outside, not being able to hit that 3. I imagine once they do, they will be tough to stop. That ball is going to be poked and stolen away. Pettit will be the beneficiary of the steal there. Graham Peterson takes it on the far side. On the opposite side of me. Anyways, that's what I call the far side. Peterson, he takes it, gives it off to Struby. Struby, he pauses, will look to go inside to Keekall. Keekall now backs it out to Pettit. Pettit, he'll look, he's in some trouble, but he gives it off to Peterson. Peterson gets around one defender. He'll look to drive inside on Bothan. Jump pass out to Struby. Now on the far side, Drews. Drews will look to take it through, and he's tripped up. No foul call there, and Princeton Tigers, that's what they want. Bothan will get credit for the steal that time. Now it's Stone. Stone will take it all the way. His shot is up, no good. Rebound coming out of nowhere that time was Struby for the rebound. Quickly up the court to Cooper Drews. He'll let the defender go by. He'll stop at the three-point line. Shot is up and no good. Easy rebound there for Schoenrock. Back the other way go the Saints. Right now, both offenses have gone cold. Princeton, though, their defense has stepped up as of late. Dipping under 6.5 to go now. 18-11 is the lead for St. Francis. Skogquist has it. He'll give it off on the far side here to Wesley Johnson. Now back to Schoenrock. Schoenrock pauses, gives it on the near side. Now Bothan inside. Pass. Far side to Stone. Stone, top of the key to Wesley Johnson for 3. And that is just off the mark. Rebound up for grabs. And it's going to be Pettit who gets the rebound for Princeton. He'll give it off. Keeps it on the far side. Wanted to go inside to Keekall. Now to Graham Peterson. Peterson gets a screen. He'll drive inside. Shot is up. No good. Too much on that one. And Wesley Johnson grabs the rebound. Right now, Princeton just getting a little too much on their layups right now. A little too strong. Just need to lay it off just a little bit. Wesley Johnson trying to get around Struby. Struby with some good defense there. And he pauses. He'll look. He'll give it off to Bothan. Bothan, he wants to drive. Instead, he'll put up a 3. And that is just off the mark. Getting the rebound that time is Keekall for Princeton. He'll give it off now to Graham Peterson, who takes it up on the far side under 5.5 to go. Peterson Stands, he'll look, he'll give it off. He wanted to give it off to Cooper Drews, but the defender right there. Now instead he'll give it off to Kekal. Now to Drews. Drews, he'll look, he'll get a screen. He wanted to go top the key for 3. He'll drive inside. That shot is up. Little floater in for 2. Cooper Drews will end the scoring drought there for both teams and lay it in for 2 as we creep up on 5 minutes to go here in this first half. Wesley Johnson has it, and we'll get a timeout called here by the St. Francis Saints with 5:04 to go on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. The Saints lead 18-13. Embrace Orthodontics Dr. Sievers is committed to providing world-class orthodontic care in a friendly and comfortable atmosphere. They're also helping you find a smile you'll embrace forever. Find out more at embracemn.com. That's EMBRACEMN.com. The St. Francis Saints lead by 5, or excuse me. Yes, by 5. I always question my math. I am not a math major. I sucked at math, so I always question my math. I'm never quite sure I'm right, but yes, it is 5. You'd think, well, that's simple math. That's a subtraction and addition. Yes, but I never said I was great in math in kindergarten either, so 18-13 is the lead for the Saints. Princeton, again, their defense has done a good job of stepping up here as of late. They've not allowed Boffin any open shots, especially they have done a really good job of not allowing him to drive into the paint as of late, but he's getting those open opportunities from 3, and again, he can really basically shoot over anyone, and he has, but they're not allowing him to get any open opportunities. So the Saints will get set to inbound. Wesley Johnson gets the inbound pass to the backcourt is where he'll start. Now he'll bring it into the front court. He'll give it off to Bothan, and Bothan again being guarded well. See if he'll try and drive inside. He will. He gets past Cooper Drews, but now he's guarded. Double team, tries to pass it inside, and it's going to be stolen away that time by Christian Williams. Williams does a great job of realizing where Bothan is and seeing that pass. Graham Peterson will hand it off here to Cooper Drews, and we'll get a foul call here on St. Francis. It'll be their team's 4th, and we'll see who that one's on. That one's going to be on Brady Johnson, his first, and the team's 4th. 4:42 to go. Christian Williams will get set to inbound it here for Princeton. Williams looks, he'll give it into Kekal. Kekal looks, he gives it off on the far side to Peterson. Back to Kekal, now to Peterson again. Peterson trying to find a screen, gives it off to Kekal. Kekal, nice spin move, but he lost it. Beautiful spin move to get around one defender, and then he lost it, and that'll go out of bounds. It will go back to St. Francis on the turnover, and man, Princeton, they've had quite a few opportunities that have gone by the wayside just due to those turnovers, and if they can eliminate those, you better believe that they would either be tied or have the lead. St. Francis has it back into the front court. Brady Johnson gives it off to Pavlitsky. Inside to Bothan. Bothan spins around, drives inside. He's going to be double teamed. Now to Pavlitsky. Pavlitsky to Stone. Now to Wesley Johnson. He wanted a quick pass. Instead gives it off to Pavlitsky. Top the key. Looking to go to Bothan. He fakes the 3. Does Pavlitsky. Pavlitsky will give it off here to Brady Johnson. Brady Johnson back to Pavlitsky. Pavlitsky a long 3 off the mark. And the rebound there by Kekal. Kekal will give it off to Drews. Now up the court to Peterson. Peterson. He'll stand on the near side elbow. He lost the ball, but he gets it back. He'll get a screen. Now looks to drive inside. Stops on his drive. He wants to go back outside to Drews. Drews almost lost it, but he brings it back. Sliding around a little bit in those sneakers. He'll pull up a 3. That's good! Cooper Drews cuts their deficit down to 2 with 3.5 minutes to go. Wesley Johnson, he'll take it. Instead, back it outside to Derek Stone. Now he'll put up a layup. No good. Derek Stone gets his own rebound. That's no good. Rebound still up for grabs. And it's rebounded there by Pettit. And a 3 there from Pettit's no good. But getting the rebound, that time was Kekal. Shooting in from out of nowhere. Graham Peterson for 3 is good. Graham Peterson gives the Tigers the lead 19-18 with 3 minutes to go here in half number 1. Wesley Johnson brings it up the court, backs it outside, top of the key to Derek Stone. Now to Pavlitsky. And we're going to get a whistle here on Princeton. It'll be the 4th team foul. And let's see who it's on. Fourth team foul and the first on Cash Pettit. 2:55 to go. Princeton holds a 1-point lead over St. Francis. St. Francis does have it on offense in their front court. They'll inbound it here to Brady Johnson. Brady Johnson gives it off to Pavlitsky on the far side. He looks, dribbles to the top of the key. He wants to go inside to Bothan. Bothan looking, fade away 2. That's no good. And rebound there by Keekall. Keekall, he has a plethora of rebounds. Now give it off to Cooper Drews, who poked it, got it poked away, stolen away by Wesley Johnson. He'll take it to the front court, spin around, shot up, and drops it through. Wesley Johnson, a nasty move, nasty spin move, got it to fall through and gives St. Francis the 20-19 lead now. Trading the lead, 1 point lead here for St. Francis. Graham Peterson takes it top the key. He'll give it inside to Keekall. Keekall cannot get the roll, and it's rebounded by Bothan. Quickly up the court goes St. Francis as I lose my way on the roster, but now Brady Johnson has it, gives it off to Wesley Johnson, top the key. Wesley Johnson drives inside, gives it off here to Derek Stone. His shot's up, no good. Rebounded there. I believe that was Keekall yet again. Princeton will bring it up the court. It's Cooper Drews. Cooper Drews looking to make a move. Trying to get past. He'll put up a three. That's no good on the roll. Oh, you can't call that foul on Keekall there. Keekall had his hands up the entire time, and the St. Francis Saint just fell backwards on his own. I got to respectfully disagree with the call on that one. It's going to be the 5th team foul for Princeton, the second on Keekall, but I think that one should have been let go. The Saint who fell kind of on his own, and they got Princeton for it. I got to respectfully disagree with that one. Wesley Johnson will take it up the court now for the Saints. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. It's a 20-19 lead for St. Francis. Wesley Johnson gets by 1. He'll take it to the basket. He puts it up and in for 2. My goodness, he just gets that step by the defender, and he's gone. 22-19, the Saints lead. Keekall has it poked out. Graham Peterson gets it back, though. This Saints defense has just been incredible. Christian Williams, no good, and that one is poked out, and Brady Johnson, will be beneficiary of the rebound. Bothan has it on the near side. Calls out the offense, gives it back to Wesley Johnson. Wesley Johnson looks, he'll drive, give it into Bothan. Bothan has it poked and stolen away. Christian Williams will get the official steal, but now Cooper Drews looks to drive inside, no good. And then getting the rebound was Graham Peterson, and then he was fouled as he looked to put it back. So Peterson will go to the line to shoot 2. It'll be the 5th team foul on St. Francis. That'll be on Brady Johnson, his second. 1:04 to go. Princeton trails by 3. Graham Peterson at the line to shoot 2. 22-19, 1:04 to go here, first half. Saints with the lead over the Princeton Tigers in this Section 5-3A championship. Shot is up and good from Graham Peterson. Make it 22-20. A substitution here. Not sure who subbed in. It looks like it'll be Caleb Schoenrock in for Brady Johnson. 22-20, 1:04 to go. Graham Peterson made his first. And he'll make the second. So Graham Peterson makes them both to cut the Saint lead down to 1. 22-21. Christian Williams bothering Wesley Johnson. Wesley Johnson in some trouble, and Christian Williams poked it out. But it will be off of him. So the Saints will get to do it again. They'll look to inbound. Derek Stone that is Skogquist will inbound it, and looks like we'll get a foul here on Princeton. Looks like it's going to be on Christian Williams, and Christian Williams is pleading his case, saying, hey, what did I do? What can I do better? What can I do not to get that foul? So it's a 16 foul here on Princeton. First for Christian Williams. 55 seconds to go, 22-21. Princeton will back out of their full court pressures. Wesley Johnson will get the inbound. Under 50 seconds to go now. Wesley Johnson brings it up to the front court. He'll look to get past Christian Williams. He does. He'll put up a shot. That is, he got through the contact. And Princeton is just kind of sitting there wondering, what can we do? Or it seems like they're getting called for everything. Graham Peterson will pick up his first and the team's 7th. The shot did fall through, so it's a 24-21 lead, as Wesley Johnson will look to make it a 3-point play. And that's going to be no good, and rebounded here by the Tigers. Graham Peterson has it on the far side. Nearly lost the ball. He brings it back in. Give it off to Cooper Drews. Cooper Drews, he'll look, trying to get around the Saints. Defense on the far side, a 3. Off the mark, Christian Williams with the rebound. Back out to Graham Peterson for 3. That's off the mark as well. And Bothan with another rebound for the Saints. And full court pressure here from the Tigers with Now 10 seconds to go in the first half. They'll give it off to Derek Stone. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3, 2, and 1. And layup is good. Oh my goodness. And that's a huge shot before half to make it 26-21, St. Francis. So St. Francis here at halftime has the lead over Princeton, 26-21. On that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard, Embrace Orthodontics, your customized smile journey starts with a free consultation. The team at Embrace Orthodontics wants to make your journey as seamless and convenient as possible with custom braces or Invisalign. Find out more at EmbraceMN.com. So the Saints lead here at halftime, 26-21. We'll take a commercial break. Hear a word from our fine sponsors. When we come back, we'll recap this first half. You're listening to Boys Section Championship Basketball here on 95.5 FM.
M&H Appliance Sales and Service is a local small family-owned business, but big enough to be competitive and match all your big box store prices. With M&H Appliance, what you get is personable customer service. They'll work with you to help find a product that fits your budget. They offer professional service to all their customers. Check out M&H Appliance to see all the inventory to choose from, with convenient locations in St. Cloud, Peace, Mora, and Cambridge, or at applianceandelectronics.com.
Your neighborhood expert, M&H Appliance.
Did you know that Franzen Bank and Trust is a Minnesota-owned company? And they're one of the largest community banks around. That's a great combination. As a community bank, they're dedicated to their customers and the communities they serve. You might say they're big enough to help, small enough to care. Last March, they provided $20,000 in grants to 6 different Minnesota communities. They also processed well over 1,700 PPP loans, allowing local small businesses to keep their employees on the payroll during the pandemic. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Minnesota Equipment reminds you that National Ag Week is March 21st through the 27th. Each American farmer feeds about 165 people, and agriculture is America's #1 export. That's really what Ag Week is all about, recognizing the role of agriculture and celebrating it. Minnesota Equipment celebrates local farmers and asks you to do the same. Highway 65 in Isanti or at minnesotaequipment.com.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
Hanson Power and Lighting is your complete service electrical contractor, servicing residential and commercial for service calls, remodels, and new construction in your community. Now offering backup generator setups, electrical vehicle chargers, service upgrades, and underground feeders to outbuilding and pole sheds. Have an electrical project that needs a professional to handle it? Then let the experts take care of it for you. That's Hanson Power and Lighting. Give them a call, 612-369-5991.
Kettle River Pizza, the handcrafted pizza made locally in Ash Cove, Minnesota. Always the highest quality ingredients. Pizza that is consistently great tasting. A true crowd pleaser. 16 varieties to choose from. Enjoy the classics like pepperoni, pepperoni sausage and supreme, to the unique tastes of hot Hawaiian, taco, buffalo chicken, and chicken Alfredo. Pick some up at your local grocer, tavern, or convenience store. Handcrafted Kettle River Pizza. Moms and basketball players approved.
Keep your home or business comfortable this winter by getting a furnace tune-up from Dale's Heating and Appliance. A tune-up from Dale's will keep your furnace running at peak efficiency so you can stay warm all winter. And Dale's offers financing on new heating systems as well. Your hometown heating expert is Dale's Heating and Appliance. Avoid costly repairs and call Dale's Heating and Appliance at 320-629-3531 or find them online at dalesheatingandappliance.com. dalesheatingandappliance.com.
M&H Appliance Sales and Service is a local small family-owned business, but big enough to be competitive and match all your big box store prices. With M&H Appliance, what you get is personable customer service. They'll work with you to help find a product that fits your budget. They offer professional service to all their customers. Check out M&H Appliance to see all the inventory to choose from, with convenient locations in St. Cloud, Peace, Mora, and Cambridge, or at applianceandelectronics.com.
Your neighborhood expert, M&H Appliance.
Did you know that Franzen Bank and Trust is a Minnesota-owned company? And they're one of the largest community banks around. That's a great combination. As a community bank, they're dedicated to their customers and the communities they serve. You might say they're big enough to help, small enough to care. Last March, they provided $20,000 in grants to 6 different Minnesota communities. They also processed well over 1,700 PPP loans, allowing local small businesses to keep their employees on the payroll during the pandemic. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC.
Back here at halftime on 95.5 FM KBEK. We're at the Section 5 3A championship game between the Princeton Tigers and the St. Francis Saints. The Tigers trail here at halftime 26-21 to St. Francis. Leading the way for the Saints, though, it was Matthew Bothan, no surprise there, with 12 points there in that first half. He also had 4 rebounds to go along with those 12 points. 6 points for both Wesley Johnson and Derek Stone, and then 2 for Brady Johnson. They had 3 steals there in that first half and only 5 team fouls. On the other side here for the Princeton Tigers, leading the way was Graham Peterson with 8 points, 6 points for Cooper Drews, 4 for Aaron Keekall, and 3 for Christian Williams. They had 3 steals as well in that first half and 17 fouls. Leading the way rebound-wise was Keekall with 10 rebounds in the first half alone. It was a decent first half here for both of these teams, but for Princeton, they just seem not to get on the right in the right offense in that first half. St. Francis did a really good job of really getting back on defense quickly and guarding against anything that Princeton wanted to run on offense, and they did a good job as well of getting those rebounds there in that first half, so not to allow Princeton with any second chance opportunities. And also in that first half, St. Francis just did a good job of getting around the defenders, finding that lane to the basket, and getting their shots to fall when they got around the defender. They've got a number of guys who can just one step get around the defender, and once they get that step around the defender, they are gone. They have got some quick players on the St. Francis side. That's not to say that Princeton does it, but so far here in this first half, what St. Francis has been able to do is just kind of get one step around the defender of Princeton and then drive to the basket. So for Princeton, I got to imagine that one of the biggest things that they'll want to have here in this second half is, one, make sure that the defenders, or that St. Francis can't get around their defenders and make it a little bit tougher for St. Francis to drive inside, because that's where the St. Francis Saints are making their money right now. They're just getting one step around that defender, finding that lane to drive, and getting into the lane. And they're not necessarily getting a bunch of second chance opportunities, and give credit to Princeton for that, because Princeton is doing a good job of getting the rebounds on the defensive board. They just had a stretch where they couldn't eliminate the turnovers there. Thankfully, St. Francis wasn't able to connect on those points off of turnovers, but right now Princeton just not finding any kind of rhythm on offense, and they'll need to here in the second half if they want to get going, because St. Francis has momentum here. They're just getting that little step around the Princeton defender and then driving to the basket. That's where they've been making their money here this evening. So Princeton will certainly look to correct that here in the second half. But again, it was a good first half between the two teams. Only 5 points separate them. And I imagine the second half is going to be just as fun and action-packed. It seemed like Princeton was getting a little bit frustrated and flustered with some of the fouls. There was a foul call there in that first half where it shouldn't have been a foul by any stretch of the imagination. It was the St. Francis defender went up for the rebound. He got it and then fell backwards on his own, but the referees thought that the Princeton Tiger had pushed him a little bit, but that was not the case. So, again, respectfully disagree, as we always do. But, again, the Tigers will have some work to do here in the second half if they want to get back with the lead. They had the lead for a short amount of time, but that quickly was taken back by the St. Francis Saints. So Princeton's got their work cut out for them here in the second half. It was a lower scoring first half for both teams. I mean, they're not even halfway to their what would be game average here in this first half. So they've got some work to do here in the second half to both teams, but for Princeton, I think what they're going to have to do is just try and find some rhythm on offense. They're going to just have to work, maybe slow things down on offense just a little bit, set up those shots, and on defense just eliminate the inside lanes for St. Francis, because St. Francis, that's where they're making their money. If you're St. Francis, why not just keep going to that well as try and give it out to Bothan. Make sure that he can get the ball and make it a nightmare for Princeton, because St. Francis, I mean, they have Bothan. I mean, he is a big guy out there, and if he gets even close to inside or even close to the paint, man, he is going to get a shot up and banked off the backboard. So it'll be a fun second half. 18 minutes are back up in that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. They'll do all the insurance heavy lifting for you. And if you don't have insurance, ask about financing options. They'll find a plan to fit your budget at embracemn.com. St. Francis will start with the ball here in the second half. They lead by 5. Princeton, I think a big thing, too, for them in the second half is just get off to a fast start. Eliminate this, 5-point deficit and make sure St. Francis doesn't score. But there goes Stone. He'll give it back outside now to Pavlitsky. Pavlitsky, he'll give it out. Brady Johnson to Pavlitsky for fake the 3. Now drives inside. He trying to get around the defender. Backs it out to Brady Johnson. Brady Johnson now to Bothan. Bothan, he'll look to drive inside. Stutter step back 3. That's going to be no good. A rare miss there from Bothan, and it's rebounded by Christian Williams. Williams, he'll give it off to Cooper Drews. Drews on the far side. Steps to the near side. He'll give it top of the key now for key call. Key call to Williams. Now Drews, step back. Shot is no good, and the rebound still up for grabs. Going to be taken by the Saints. Looked like Stone who got it. Stone, he'll give it up the court now. Or excuse me, that was Wesley Johnson who gives it to Stone. Now Stone has it, gives it off to Bothan. Bothan goes inside to Stone. Stone trying to get through some defenders, but picks up his dribble, turns around, puts up a shot. It is no good. We'll get a jump ball call here, and the possession arrow will favor the Princeton Tigers. So Bothan and Kekal battled for that one, but jump ball call. Drews will look to inbound. He will. He'll give it off to Struby, and Struby will take it up the court now for Princeton. He'll look for a screen, and the defender gets around the screen. Now he gives it out to Christian Williams. Inside to Kekal. Kekal puts it up. No good. And rebounded there by Bothan. Yeah, Bothan might have got a hand on that one and caused that one to be missed. Under 16 and a half minutes to go. Wesley Johnson calling out a play. He'll come to the near side. He'll give it off to Pavlitsky. He loses it, but gets it back. Oh, and then we're going to get a whistle here on Princeton. That's going to be Christian Williams, who gets his second and the first of the second half. St. Francis will get ready. They'll get set to inbound. They will inbound it to Stone in the backcourt just to avoid any Princeton pressure. Now he'll take it to the front. He'll give it off to Bothan. Bothan on the near side to Stone. Stone steps one way, drives. He'll give it off now to Wesley Johnson. Top of the key. He looks. He'll give it off far side. Pavlitsky. Pavlitsky looks to drive inside. He passes it off, looking for Bothan, and Bothan just keeps it from a backcourt violation, and now he'll give it off on the far side to Wesley Johnson. Wesley Johnson looks to drive inside, gives it off to Pavlitsky. Pavlitsky looks, he'll give it off now. Wesley Johnson. Johnson looks, wanted to drive inside, gives it back out to Bothan. Bothan top the key, now to Pavlitsky. Pavlitsky on the far side. St. Francis being pretty patient here on offense as Bothan has it, looks to drive inside. Double teamed, and we're going to travel there on Bothan. So Bothan gets called for the travel, and it will give the ball back to Princeton. Princeton will get it back. Bounce pass in to Struby. Struby looks to settle things down. He takes it up on the far side. Princeton going right to left in this second half on your radio dial. St. Francis left to right. Pass here to Christian Williams. He'll hand it off now to Graham Peterson. Peterson will now look to Cooper Drews for 3. That I think Bothan got a hand on that one as Wesley Johnson will get the rebound. Wesley Johnson speeds past the defender, out to Stone, fakes the 3, drives inside, pass up, and that one is put in by Brady Johnson. He got the shot to fall plus the and one. That foul going to be on Princeton. It'll be the team's second here of the second half, and that'll be on Kekal, his third. shot is good from Brady Johnson, and he'll look for the three-point play. And no good, and rebound up for grabs, and Brady Johnson's going to get his own rebound. Bothan inside, shot is up, no good, and oh my goodness, Brady Johnson again with the rebound. He stepped over the line, and that'll be a over and back, and Princeton will catch a break. Wesley Johnson just stepped over the line there, so it will give the ball back to Princeton. And over and back, they trail by 7 to the Tigers. Peterson will take it up the court on the far side. Looks almost has it stolen away. It's poked up, nearly stolen away by the Saints. He'll give it off to Kekal, and now to Drews. Drews looks to drive inside. He'll back it out to Williams. Now top of the key for Graham Peterson for 3, and a big, big shot there from Graham Peterson. That is a much-needed shot for the Tigers, as now it's a 28-24 lead for the Saints, but back the other way comes Stone for the Saints. Is off to Wesley Johnson. Wesley Johnson's got a quick step, man. He'll now give it to Brady Johnson. Brady Johnson now to Wesley. Wesley, top of the key to Stone. Stone. Now to Wesley. Wesley Johnson, that is, and that ball is going to go off of Princeton, out of bounds. Saints will get it back. 28-24, 14-12 to go here in half number 2. Saints with the lead in this Section 5-3A championship game. Bothan inbounds to Stone, and somehow he gets through traffic to put it up and in for 2 to make it 30-24. Back the other way, though, come the Princeton Tigers. He'll back it out. A 3 here from Struby is no good, and rebound gets out to Peterson. Pearson gets, I think he's going to get called for the charge. He's not too happy with that one. And neither is their head coach, Cloutier, and he might have a point on that one. He might have a point. Either way, it's Peterson's second and the team's third of the second half. Cloutier may have a point there on that one. I don't know. I don't know if that one was necessarily a foul. Under 14 minutes to go. Wesley Johnson's double teamed. He'll give it off now to Stone. Stone will be double teamed. He'll give it back to Johnson, and now up the court to Skogquist inside. And nice job there by Kekal, almost getting the steal, but he knocks it out of bounds. That's the best option there because Bothan was going up for a dunk. Pettit checks into the game here for Struby, as St. Francis will get set to inbound. He'll give it in far side to Brady Johnson. He'll cut through the defenders. He'll drop it in for 2. 32-24. St. Francis having their way right now, and Princeton just can't find any rhythm on offense. That shot is up, no good. Kekal with another rebound. A 3 there from Williams. It's no good, and going to get a foul here on St. Francis. And I think for the Tigers, they're thinking finally. Bothan, his first. Team's first as well of the second half. 32-24, 13-19 to go. Peterson has to tie his shoe. Gets it tied. Now we're getting back. Kekal wants to go inbound to Drews, but he'll in fact give it off here to Peterson. Peterson now inside. Kekal backs out to Williams. Williams. Drews, his shot is up, no good, but he got fouled, and he'll go to line to shoot 2. Second team foul on the Saints, and the third for Brady Johnson. So Drews at the line for 2. First one is up off the front of the rim, no good. 32-24, checking in for Brady Johnson is it's Schoenrock. Drews no good on the first, no good on the second, and a rebound there for Bothan. That is tough for the Tigers. They needed those, and sadly they cannot get either one of them to fall, as now the Saints have it back. Bothan has it, and it's stolen away. Cooper Drews with the steal. That is a huge momentum lift, and now he'll give it off to Christian Williams, who puts it up and in for 2. And that is exactly what they needed. They still trail by 6 with under 13 minutes to go, but talk about momentum boost. As now Wesley Johnson takes it all the way himself, but it's no good. Pettit with the rebound for Princeton. And now to Graham Peterson. We got bodies flying everywhere, but Princeton has it. He'll give it off to Christian Williams. That ball's poked and out of bounds. It will be Princeton ball. It's last touched by a St. Francis Saint. Shuby will check back into the game here. Who will he come in for? Looks like Christian Williams. No, it'll be Saint ball. So it's off of the Tigers. And yeah, the Tigers just realized, they said it was off the Saints at first, but now they're going to say it's St. Francis ball. Tiger fans not too pleased with that one. Under 12 and a half to go. Wesley Johnson gives it up to Schoenrock. Schoenrock drives. He stops on his drive on the near side. Looks. He'll give it off far side. To Skogquist. A long two is no good. Botham with the rebound. His shot's no good. He's going to be fouled. And right now, you got to do everything you can not to allow Botham inside. He's just going to make it. He's going to have his way. Cooper Drews, his first, team's fourth. And Botham at the line to shoot two. 32-26. And Princeton just cannot find any sort of rhythm on offense as Botham drops it in. They get 33-26. And Botham good on both. 34-26, an 8-point lead for St. Francis, and it's just been tough going here for the Tigers. They need a big something to go their way. Need a couple stops here on defense and need some big shots. They'll pass it around the perimeter, now giving it inside to Keekall. Keekall wanted the shot. He'll give it off to Struby. Now off to Pettit. Pettit wanted to go Keekall, but it's going to be off of a Saint and out of bounds, and it will stay with Princeton. 11:48 to go on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard here in the second half. Princeton trails 34-26. Embrace Orthodontics custom braces or Invisalign with 3 locations in Pine City, Lindstrom, and Cambridge. Inbound here to Cooper Drews and tried to get it to Keekall. Maybe one pass too many as it's stolen away by Skogquist. Skogquist will give it out to Wesley Johnson. Now to Stone. Pavlitsky for 3. Oh my goodness, that was smooth through. And that is exactly what Princeton did not need. 37-26, and we'll get a timeout called here by the Princeton Tigers. Oh my. Princeton in a little bit of trouble right now. They trail 37-26 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard with 11:26 to go. Embrace Orthodontics, Dr. Sievers is committed to providing world-class orthodontic care in a friendly and comfortable atmosphere. Start today at embracemn.com. So the Tigers trail. At halftime, over at Chisago Lakes, the Andover Huskies lead over Cambridge Isani 49-39. That was a little bit ago, so it may have changed, but Cambridge Isani trails by 10. Local teams struggling right now, but we've got an entire rest of the second half to play. 11:26 to go. And with Princeton's offense, man, they can catch fire in a hurry, and then all of a sudden the points just start to fall. And that's what they're hoping for here in this one. And they're hoping that their offense can just kind of catch fire and stop the Saints on offense. But right now, again, the Saints are just driving inside and getting these layups to fall. Christian Williams back in for the Tigers. Inbound to Keekall. Now top the key for Graham Peterson. He looks for a 3, and it's a good shot. Graham Peterson, another 3. Makes it 37-29. Saints have it back. Wesley Johnson. He looks. Gives it off now to Schoenrock. And Pavlitsky. Pavlitsky drive to the far side. He'll give it off to Wesley Johnson. Oh, we get a foul here on St. Francis. It'll be their team's third. And we'll see who it's on. No foul. Out of bounds. I'm not really sure what that was. They've still only got 2 fouls. Looked like it'll be maybe out of bounds. Yeah, I'm not sure. So either way, Princeton has the ball back. Williams with it. He gives it off to Drews. Drews looks to drive inside, and it's going to be stolen away. Skogquist will get it, but poking it out was Bothan. And the Saints being double teamed there in the backcourt. Skogquist has it up to Stone. Shot is no good. Stone gets his own rebound. Shot is no good again. That one's going to be out of bounds. Last touch by the Tigers. So the Saints will get it. They'll get set to inbound here. Again, just when everything looks like it might go right for Princeton, he just can't seem to get things to fall. St. Francis has it. They'll circle to perimeter with Wesley Johnson. Now to Bothan. Bothan, he'll look going inside here to Schoenrock. Schoenrock has that shot. Oh, knocked away. Late call there on Princeton. We got Christian Williams, his 3rd, team's 5th. And it's Schoenrock at the line to shoot 2. First one's up and good. They just can't miss right now. Free throw line, I think they've been 100%, if not close. Schoenrock drills them both for his first points of the game. Makes it 39-29 in favor of the Saints. Graham Peterson brings it up the court for Princeton. Looks to get a screen. Gives it back to Kekal. Kekal. That foul is going to go on St. Francis. It'll be their team's 3rd. Schoenrock his 1st. Princeton will get set to inbound. Drews inbounds to Peterson. Peterson top the key, gives it off near side. That's Drews. Drews, step back 3. That's through. Drews for 3 makes it 32-39, my goodness. It's all of a sudden just giving them all the points. 39-32. St. Francis has it back. Schoenrock looking. He'll give it off to Wesley Johnson. Johnson guarded well. He'll get handed off to Skogquist, and now a timeout called here by the Saints. And while they take a timeout, we'll take a timeout as well. You're listening to Boys Championship Basketball here on 95.5 FM KBEK.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Back here on 95.5 FM, KBEK. Princeton trails on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard, 39-32. Embrace Orthodontics, helping you find a smile you'll embrace forever. And now more at EmbraceMN.com. That's EMBRACEMN.com. 39-32 with now 9.5 to go. Kekal has 11 rebounds for the Tigers as Stone looked to drive inside. He'll give it off. That pass is tipped and stolen away by Struby. That's exactly what Princeton needed as Peterson will take it up the court. Looks for a screen. Drifts off to the far side. Now gives it off to Drews. Now to Kekal. Kekal wanted to go inside to Drews. Instead, he'll give it off to Peterson. Graham Peterson gives it back to Kekal. Kekal looks to drive inside, but Bothan's right there to Struby. Now to Drews. Screen from Kekal, and that shot's no good. Bothan with the rebound. That was a little bit of a rush shot there, I thought, by Drews, but St. Francis will get the rebound. They bring it up the court. They want to go inside to Bothan instead, give it to Stone. Stone fakes the shot. He'll drive inside. Shot is up and good. And yeah, again, they've just had all the lanes to drive through here this evening. And they're, of course, Princeton's trying to key off on Bothan, but that's leading to open lanes. Peterson has it now for Princeton. He'll give it off to Drews, and that will be a foul here on St. Francis as Drews drove inside. Draws the foul. Schoenrock will be the guilty Saints, and Drews at the line to shoot 2. 4th foul team-wise for St. Francis in the second half. 8.5 to go. Drews is good on the first. Make it 41-33. Brady Johnson and Pavlitsky check in for St. Francis. Schoenrock and Skokwas check out. Drews hit the first. And he'll hit the second. So 2 key free throws there for Princeton, and they trail now by 7. They still trail, but free throws were big there. Derek Stone has it. He'll give it off to Bothan and now to Brady Johnson. Brady Johnson gives it off far side to Stone. He fakes the shot. He'll drive inside. He backs it out. Top of the key here for Brady Johnson. Brady Johnson back out to Wesley. Wesley Johnson wants to go inside to Bothan. Bothan now has it. Drifting. He'll look. He'll spin around. Wanted that shot, but it's guarded well. Pavlitsky gives it off to Stone for 3. That's off the mark and rebounded by Struby for the Tigers. Tigers will bring it back the other way with under 8 minutes to go. Kekal gives it off to Struby. Struby now to Drews. Drews looks to drive inside, fakes the shot, gives it out to Kekal. Kekal, he wants to drive inside now. Jump pass. Now it works to Struby around the perimeter here for Peterson. Peterson to Drews. Drews will pull up a 3. Oh my goodness, that's a big shot there from Cooper Drews to make it 41-37 with 7:20 to go here in the second half. Big shot there from Princeton. But here comes the Saints. Wesley Johnson turning on the Jets, gives it off to Pavlitsky. Now to Brady Johnson. Now on the near side here to Stone. Stone looks, goes inside to Bothan. Bothan guarded well. He's trying to spin around, drives inside. His shot's blocked. Oh my goodness, no. Gonna get the foul here on Princeton. It's gonna be on Graham Peterson, his 3rd. Bothan at the line to shoot 2. 7:01 to go. 41-37, Princeton trying to make that comeback. They're down by 4 in this Section 5 3A championship game. Listening to 95.5 FM, KBEK. Bothan no good on the first. So that's big for Princeton. Josh Pettit in for Princeton. Comes in for Struby. Bothan no good on the first. And no good on the second. So rebound there by Kekal. That's a big miss there for St. Francis as now Princeton has it. And they can try and bring this deficit down to 1 or 2. It's Christian Williams with it. He'll give it off to Drews. Drews looking to get around the defender. Calls for a screen from Kekal. And we'll get a foul here on St. Francis. It'll be the team's 5th. And that's going to be on Brady Johnson, his 4th. So I don't know if he'll sit or not. He will. And it'll be Schoenrock who will check in for Brady Johnson. 6:40 to go. Princeton trails by 4, 41-37. Williams looking to inbound. He will get it off to Kekal. Kekal looks, he hands it to Drews. Drews, step back, long 2 is off the front of the rim. No good for Graham Peterson right there for the rebound. Christian Williams to Graham Peterson. Peterson looks to drive inside. Shot is up, rolls it home. Graham Peterson for 2 makes it 39-41, the deficit for Princeton. 6:21 to go, and a travel call here on St. Francis. That'll give the ball back to Princeton. 6:20 to go. And Princeton within 2, 41-39. Inbound here, and oh my goodness, just got away from Peterson. A 3, good! And Graham Peterson hits the 3, makes it 42-41 in favor of the Tigers. Tigers might be feeling something now. 42-41, Wesley Johnson brings it up the court. And timeout called here by St. Francis. 42-41, Tigers have the lead with 6:02 to go here in the game on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics helping you find a smile you embrace forever. They're also your customized smile journey. We'll start with them with a free consultation. The team at Embrace Orthodontics wants to make your journey as seamless and convenient as possible with custom braces or Invisalign. Find out more at embracemn.com. 42-41, 6:02 to go here in the game. Princeton has the 1-point lead. Tigers trying to hold on to that. They've got a little bit of momentum right now. St. Francis trying to use the timeout for the momentum breaker is what they're hoping. 42-41. I want to thank everyone who is tuning in here this evening. Thanks so much for tuning in to 95.5 FM KBK and our YouTube via our website, kbk.com. If you're on our YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. Hit that red subscribe button on our YouTube. And if you are subscribed, you will be notified anytime that we go live with a local sporting event here on our YouTube. So if you're subscribed to our YouTube page, if you're not, hit that red subscribe button. And then anytime we go live with a local sporting event, you'll be notified. Here we go. 42-41. Princeton has the lead. Wesley Johnson has it. He gives it off. Now top of the key to Stone. Stone, he'll look to drive inside. Backs out, nearly poked away, but Troen Rock has it. Inside, trying to get through some traffic. Gives it off to Wesley Johnson, who puts it home. Wesley Johnson for two. Makes it 43-42. Back the other way for Princeton. Oh, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Princeton. Princeton, they're saying, hey, how's that off of us? That should be our ball. Ref's not having any of it, though. And again, it seems like Princeton just can't catch a break here this evening. Anytime they get something good to go their way, it just all of a sudden right back the other way. Saints have it. They get it off to Bothan, and I'm sure Bothan's going to be a big key here. Pavlitsky for three. That's going to be no good. Rebounded by Struby. To Graham Peterson. Peterson will drift to the far side. Looks for a screen. Hits a screen. He'll back it out to Struby. Struby goes inside to Keekall for two. Aaron Keekall, 44-43. Under 5 minutes to go. Oh, and a travel call missed on Stone. Oh, and now we're going to get a foul. A travel call clearly missed on the Saints. And the Tiger fans and coaches are beside themselves. They cannot believe it. It's going to be Struby's third, but a clear travel call missed on the Saints. Oh, my. It's going to send Stone to the line, but it's going to be a 1-and-1, but my goodness, they got bailed out. I mean, a clear travel call. Stone's going to hit his first. Wow. I respectfully think they missed that one. Again, we thank the refs for being here. We can't play a game without them, so we thank them for being here, but respectfully, I'm going to say you missed that one. Stone will hit them both. Make it 45-44. My goodness. Princeton will have the ball back after the two made free throws. 4:40 to go here in the second half. Graham Peterson, he has it. Gets around one defender. He wants Cooper Drews. He gets it to Cooper Drews on the far side. Get a timeout called here by Princeton. Princeton will call the timeout. They'll be left with, I believe, two. And Princeton will, or excuse me, St. Francis has three, I do believe. Second half action. It's getting fun here. We're here with 4:36 to go. It's a 45-44 lead for St. Francis, but Princeton has seemingly found a little bit of momentum to go their way on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. 4:36 to go here in the game. Thanks to all of our fine sponsors who sponsored tonight's broadcast in this Section 5 3A championship game. The winner of tonight not only wins the section, but also punches their ticket to the state tournament. A lower scoring game for both of these teams considering their season averages. But for Princeton, they haven't had anything all night momentum-wise. But as of late, they seemingly found a little bit of something, a little bit of that spark inside to get to go their way. Most recent timeout was called by Princeton. If you're just joining us, we're in the Section 5 3A championship game between the Tigers and the St. Francis Saints. 4:36 to go here in the second half. Saints do have that 1-point lead, but Princeton trying to retake the lead here. Princeton will get set to inbound. It's Drews. Will inbound, bounce pass to Peterson. Peterson has it. He looks. He'll drive to the basket. It's no good. Keekall got the rebound. That's no good. And we'll get a foul here on St. Francis. St. Francis will get their 6th team foul. That's going to be on Wesley Johnson, his 2nd. Princeton will get to inbound again. And up and in for 2, Graham Peterson. That was a good inbound there. Peterson shot right underneath the basket. Inbounder did a good job to find him. Princeton now holds a 1-point lead, 46-45. 4:15 to go. Wesley Johnson gives it off to Skogquist, and now to Stone. Stone wants to go inside to Both, and it's stolen away. Cooper Drews. Quickly up the court. Christian Williams, he'll wait for the offense to catch up. Now gives it off to Struby. Now to Drews. Drews on the near side. He'll look. He'll fake the give to Peterson. Now he will give it to Peterson. Peterson, top the key. He wanted it. He thought about 3. He gives it off to Drews. Drews trying to get past the defender. He'll drive inside, stops, spins around, gives it back to Keekall. Keekall now back to Drews. Drews inside to Keekall. Shot is up, no good. Oh, and no foul call. And Princeton, they want that foul. It wasn't called. Bothan with the rebound, and yeah, probably should have been a foul there. Oh, and that's going to be a double dribble. It has to be. And double dribble on Bothan, and that will give the ball back to Princeton. So Princeton will get the ball back off a double dribble on Bothan. They'll bring it back to the front court, under 3.5 to go. Peterson, he'll give it off to Keekall, now to Christian Williams. Williams has it, he pauses on the far side to Drews. Push the 3, that's no good. Keekall with the rebound, and that'll go back to Princeton. Keekall's a little bit upset. He thought he was pushed. He should have got a foul. Might have been right. Just couldn't hold on to that rebound. St. Francis will get it back, so both teams catching a break, but man, you got a feel for Princeton right now. They had a chance to extend the lead to 3, but St. Francis will catch a break. It's Wesley Johnson on the far side. He'll drive inside. That's knocked out from behind by Keekall on the block. Nice job by Keekall to knock that one out as Wes Johnson went up for the lay-in and did a good job to even get it without a foul call. Inbound here. Brady Johnson will let that one go out of bounds. Gotta be careful there if you're St. Francis. Princeton might try to go after that and try and get the ball to go their way. But St. Francis will hold on to it. It's inbound here to Brady Johnson. Brady Johnson will give it off to Wes Johnson. Wesley on the far side. Now top the key here to Skogquist. Now to Brady. Brady looks. He'll go inside to Bothan. Oh, that should be a kick ball on St. Francis. He kicked it with his toe to Brady Johnson. No call. Bothan, a 2. So they missed a big ball call, but either way, back to Princeton, and putting it up and in for 2 is Christian Williams. 48-47. Princeton back with the lead. Under 2.5 minutes to go. Princeton leads 48-47. St. Francis gets it up there. Oh, a foul call there on Williams. It will be a 1-and-1 for St. Francis. That's going to be Williams' 4th. Team's 8th. Brady Johnson at the line for a 1-and-1. 2:13 to go. Oh, a high arcing shot, no good. Cooper Drews will get the rebound. Drews with the rebound. He'll give it up the court to Keekall. Keekall has it, and they wanted to go to Drews, but Drews was guarded very well by St. Francis. Keekall has it. He'll just waste some time, under 2 minutes to go. Oh, and another foul call that was not called, and this one is going to, I believe, be called on Bothan. My goodness. Bodies are falling everywhere, and not seemingly getting any calls are Princeton. Princeton just beside themselves. They're trying to get they just haven't gotten any calls to go their way here in the second half. 48-47. Oh, they did call a foul on, I think, Brady Johnson. So if that's the case, that's his fifth, and it's a 1-and-1 right now for Keekall. Keekall, no good on the first, but he gets his own rebound. To Graham Peterson, that's well off the mark. Bothan will get the rebound. A little bit rushed on that one, I felt like, did the Tigers. Wesley Johnson, he'll give it off to Stone. Thought the Tigers could have maybe passed that one around a little bit and waited and set up a better shot. Under a minute and a half to go. Tigers lead 48-47. Wesley Johnson with it, gives it off to Bothan. Bothan wants this one. Nice spin move. He'll go up, and that one's no good. Rebound here. Oh, it got out to Stone. St. Francis has it again. Pavlitsky on the far side for Skogquist for three. That's off the mark. Oh, and it's going to stay with St. Francis as it goes out of bounds. My goodness. 1:05 to go in this game, 48-47. Princeton with the lead. St. Francis will look to inbound. They'll get it into Bothan, no doubt. And he's going to probably be the one who they want to have the ball. Gives it off far side to Stone for three. No good. Bothan with the rebound. And I think that's going to be on Williams. If it is, it'll be his fifth. It is. So Christian Williams with his fifth, and he'll foul out. He's kind of wondering how that one was on him. Brady Johnson didn't have his fifth, by the way, so I don't know who got the foul the last time. I don't know. All right, either way, it's a 1-and-1 for Bothan. Good on the first. Ties it at 48. $48 under a minute to go, 54 seconds. Bothan hit the first. He hits them both. 49-48. Princeton trails by one. 50 seconds to go. And I think we'll get a timeout here by Princeton. I'm pretty sure they'll be left with one. 49-48 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. 47 seconds to go. Embrace Orthodontics, they'll do all the insurance heavy lifting for you. And if you don't have insurance, ask about financing options. They'll find a plan to fit your budget at EmbraceMN.com. 47.9 seconds to go. Season on the line. A trip to state on the line. Princeton trails by one. 49-48. St. Francis just hit two big free throws from Bothan. Out of the timeout, here we come. And a little bit tough for Princeton now. They have 9 team fouls while St. Francis only has 7. So if they foul again, if Princeton fouls again, it's going to be 2 automatic shots for St. Francis. So not what they're hoping for. But Princeton, a shot could, well, everybody's on their feet, so I'm not going to get to see. Everybody on their feet, I might as well get on mine. Shot is up, no good, but a foul here on St. Francis. That'll be their team's 8th. Bothan with the foul, his 3rd, team's 8th. And at the line is Aaron Keekall to shoot 2. First one's up, got the friendly roll. It's in. Aaron Keekall got that friendly roll off the rim. He drops it through to tie it at 49. I can bet if Keekall makes it. Woo! 2 big free throws there. It's 50-49, and I would almost bet St. Francis might be looking for the last shot. Here comes Wesley Johnson. And if you're Princeton, I'm sure that They're probably not looking to foul here, trying to avoid that. A timeout called here by St. Francis. So St. Francis will call a timeout. I believe they're left with 2 now. Oh my. We are in for a fun finish. 50-49. Princeton with the lead. 35.9 seconds to go. In this Section 5 3A championship game, again, winner punches their ticket to the state tournament for Class 3A, and they will represent Section 5. 50-49 is the lead for Princeton. It is going to come down to the last couple of shots here. Everybody is on their feet in this game. The timeout most recently called by St. Francis. And I wouldn't doubt Bothan's going to be the key guy. He's going to be the one that they're looking to get the ball to. So if I'm Princeton, I'm saying, hey, watch for Bothan. Watch the three-point shot. But I would definitely kind of key off on Bothan. But you can't fully surround him because, I mean, he requires so much attention, but if you give him too much, you're going to wind up having someone open outside for St. Francis. And again, I'm sure St. Francis will probably be looking for the last shot. With 30 seconds to go, Pavlitsky has it. He gives it off now to Skogquist on the far side, Wesley Johnson. Wesley Johnson, he looks, trying to go inside to Skogquist for 3. Oh, no, it's good. 52-50. 13 seconds to go. Inside, key call, up, in for 2! We're tied at 52. Oh my goodness, 5.5 seconds to go. And we're checking something at the scorer's table. Not sure what. I'm not sure who even called the timeout. I'm guessing it's Princeton. 52 seconds to go. So here we go. 5 seconds to go. We're tied at 52. And over in that 7-4A championship game, Andover gets the victory over Cambridge Isani, 106-79. So congratulations to the Blue Jackets on a fantastic season. Made it to the section championship, but fell short to Andover. 106-79. Here in our game, we have 9 seconds put back on the Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. So they had 4.5 seconds. 9 seconds are left in the game. We're tied at 52. That 3 from Skogquist really made things difficult for Princeton. What you wanted was them to get a 2, because then if you go down and score, then you really have the chance to just waste the clock, wait for the last second shot to go and win by 1. But because Skogquist hit the 3, you could only go down and tie it with a 2. And I mean, Kekal was wide open for 2. There was no point in not getting that shot. 9 seconds to go. It'll be interesting to see what the game plan is here for both of these teams. If you're St. Francis, obviously you're just going to be looking for the last second shot. You know who you're going to go to. You're going to go to Bothan inside. Bothan will be the guy. So here we go. 9 seconds to go, and we'll see what Princeton does. Bothan has it. They'll bring it up the court. 6 seconds. Now 5. Now 4. Now 3. Blocked! Wesley Johnson, no good, and we're headed to overtime. Woo-wee! We are headed for extra basketball here at Monticello High School. A block by Princeton, and we are headed for overtime at Monticello High School. So 2 halves wasn't enough, and we will now head to overtime. Overtime here at Monticello High School. We're tied at 52 in this Section 5 3A championship game between the Tigers and the Saints. Tied at 52. We'll have 4 minutes on that scoreboard, and we'll take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
Minnesota Equipment reminds you that National Ag Week is March 21st through the 27th. Each American farmer feeds about 165 people, and agriculture is America's #1 export. That's really what Ag Week is all about, recognizing the role of agriculture and celebrating it. Minnesota Equipment celebrates local farmers and asks you to do the same. Highway 65 in Isanti or at minnesotaequipment.com.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
Back here on 95.5 FM KBEK. We're in overtime. 4 minutes to go. It's not sudden death. It's 4 minutes. 4 minutes are up on that Embrace Orthodontic scoreboard. It will start with another tip, and I believe Princeton will go left to right on your radio dial to start overtime. St. Francis will go right to left. Tip-off is won by Princeton. Princeton will go right to left on your radio dial. So it'll be the same as the second half. Graham Peterson has it, and he'll put it up and in for two. 54-52. Graham Peterson gets the first points of overtime and gives the lead to Princeton. St. Francis brings it back. Again, only 4 minutes in this overtime period, so we're already at 3.5. Stone has it, gives it off to Pavlitsky. To Brady Johnson, to Wesley Johnson. Wesley Johnson, he stops, looks for someone, to Bothan. Bothan will drive inside, he's guarded well, and his shot is no good. Rebounded by Struby. Quickly up the court go the Tigers, and it's poked out, stolen away, by Pavlitsky. Pavlitsky with the steal. On the far side, he wanted to go inside to Bothan, now back to Pavlitsky for three. This will be big, and it's good. Pavlitsky makes it 55-54. Cooper Drews has it. He'll give it off now to Graham Peterson. Peterson looking to drive inside. Back outside for three. It's off the mark. And Keekall with the rebound yet again. Drewby has it. Graham Peterson, he fakes the shot. He'll look to drive inside. His shot's up and good. 56-55. Back to that 1 point lead that we went back and forth with in that second half. Wesley Johnson gives it off to Bothan. Back outside to Pavlitsky, That shot's going to be no good. And Keekall with the rebound. Under 2.5 to go now. Cooper Drews, he'll hand it off to Graham Peterson. Peterson on the far side, and I'm sure they're just going to waste as much clock as they can. Graham Peterson will circle around. He'll look for a screen again, circle around. He'll give it off now to Pettit. Pettit poked away and stolen away by Bothan. So St. Francis has back, and that's something you don't want if you're Princeton right now. You had the opportunity to continue to run the clock, and right there, that's just something you don't want. And you don't want St. Francis to hit a three, and that ball was loose, and I think St. Francis got the timeout before anything happened, so St. Francis is going to get the timeout. 1:41 to go. Princeton leads 56-55 on that Embrace Orthodontics scoreboard. Embrace Orthodontics custom braces or Invisalign with 3 locations, Pine City, Lindstrom, and Cambridge. Overtime, 56-55. Princeton with the lead. Winner will represent Section 5 in Class 3A at the state tournament. 1:41 to go. Everyone basically here on their feet. My goodness, the blood's pumping. If I had an Apple Watch, it'd probably be telling me, hey, calm down. You need to do something to get your blood pressure down. It has been a fun one here. With about 5 minutes left in that second half, both teams started to trade the lead, a 1 point lead. And then it was tied at 52. St. Francis had the last chance, but Princeton, man, they got 2 blocks to force overtime, and now they lead by 1, 56-55. And if you're Princeton right now, the last thing you want is for St. Francis to get a 3, because that will give them a 2 point lead. And Princeton's been doing a good job of driving inside, getting the 2, but they haven't hit great from 3, so they want to hold St. Francis to 2, go down, get the 1 point lead, and then try and get the ball back. Turnover would be huge here if you're Princeton, because they know how to really drain the clock when on offense, and I'm sure they could drain the clock and then get a foul call from St. Francis, then go to the line and start shooting free throws. But Bothan has got to be a key guy again for St. Francis. I'm sure they're going to try and get the ball to him. Will the Saints. Princeton One bigger thing, too, they don't want to get any fouls either. They have 9 here in this as we get into the overtime period, 8 for St. Francis. Stone tries to drive inside. He backs it back outside to Wesley Johnson. Now to Brady. Brady Johnson looks to drive inside. His shot is up. It's going to be no good. Graham Peterson with the rebound. And now Princeton will certainly try and drain some clock with 1:20 to go. Graham Peterson, will he try and extend the lead? No. He wanted to go to Drews. He does. Drews will step back and he'll look to drain the clock, give it off to Keecall. And Keecall, he'll give it off to Graham Peterson. Peterson looks, he drives, that shot's up, no good, and he got fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Risky play there by Peterson, but he got the foul call with 1:05 to go. He goes to the line to shoot 2, 9th team foul here on St. Francis, and that's going to go against Pavlitsky. Okay. Graham Peterson to shoot 2. He leads the team with 25 points. Peterson drops in the first to make it 57-55. Skogquist checks in for Brady Johnson. 1:05 to go. Graham Peterson hits them both, and now the Tigers lead by 3. 58-55, 1 minute to go. Wesley Johnson has it. He'll drift to the near side. He'll get around one defender. Now stop on his drive. He'll look to go inside to Bothan. Instead, give it to Pavlitsky. Pavlitsky inside to Bothan. Bothan, his shot blocked. He gets his own rebound. Shot is up, and it's good. From Bothan. Makes it 58-57. Drews has it now for Princeton. Drews trying to get around the defender. He'll look, he'll drive inside. That ball's, oh no, out of bounds. And it goes back to St. Francis. Oh no, that is exact opposite of what Princeton could have there. Oh boy, 27 seconds to go. Princeton did not need that. Obviously now St. Francis going to look for the last second shot. Here we go. Wesley Johnson will bring it up the court with 20 seconds to go. Now to Stone, to Wesley Johnson, inside to Bothan. Bothan shot, and it circles through. Get a timeout call here. 59-58. 11 seconds to go. Princeton, I don't know who called the timeout, but either team's got to be out now. Timeout called there, and whew. Yeah, Princeton, sadly, they had that turnover, which gave the ball back to Princeton, and they came down and they converted, and that's exactly what Princeton didn't want to have happen. A little bit of an ill-advised pass, and now Princeton down by 1, and obviously they'll be looking for the last second shot, but man, you were hoping to drain some more clock, but they had the turnover, sadly, and now all of a sudden St. Francis with the 1-point lead. (59-58). 13 seconds to go here in this overtime period. Be interesting to see what St. Francis does. Will they allow Princeton to drive up the court, or will they try and foul? What will they do with 13 seconds to go? Looks like they'll apply some full court pressure. Everybody on their feet, might as well get up. Not going to be able to see. Graham Peterson, he gets it. He'll drive up the court now for the Tigers. He stops. 8 seconds to go, gives it off to Drews. Drews, he stops, loses his dribble, gives it off to Keecall. Keecall goes inside. Shot is up. No good, and that's it. And St. Francis is going to state. So the final here in this one, Princeton 59, or excuse me, St. Francis 59, Princeton 58. We'll take a word here from our fine sponsors.
Hanson Power and Lighting is your complete service electrical contractor, servicing residential and commercial for service calls, remodels, and new construction in your community. Now offering backup generator setups, electrical vehicle chargers, service upgrades, and underground feeders to outbuilding and pole sheds. Having an electrical project that needs a professional to handle it? Then let the experts take care of it for you. That's Hanson Power and Lighting. Give them a call, 612-369-5991.
Kettle River Pizza, the handcrafted pizza made locally in Ash Cove, Minnesota. Always the highest quality ingredients. Pizza that is consistently great tasting. A true crowd pleaser. 16 varieties to choose from. Enjoy the classics like pepperoni, pepperoni sausage and supreme, to the unique tastes of hot Hawaiian, taco, buffalo chicken, and chicken Alfredo. Pick some up at your local grocer, tavern, or convenience store. Handcrafted Kettle River Pizza. Moms and basketball players approved.
Keep your home or business comfortable this winter by getting a furnace tune-up from Dale's Heating and Appliance. A tune-up from Dale's will keep your furnace running at peak efficiency so you can stay warm all winter. And Dale's offers financing on new heating systems as well. Your hometown heating expert is Dale's Heating and Appliance. Avoid costly repairs and call Dale's Heating and Appliance at 320-629-3531 or find them online at dalesheatingandappliance.com. dalesheatingandappliance.com.
M&H Appliance Sales and Service is a local small family-owned business, but big enough to be competitive and match all your big box store prices. With M&H Appliance, what you get is personable customer service. They'll work with you to help find a product that fits your budget. They offer professional service to all their customers. Check out M&H Appliance to see all the inventory to choose from, with convenient locations in St. Cloud, Peace, Mora, and Cambridge, or at applianceandelectronics.com.
Your neighborhood expert, M&H Appliance.
Did you know that Franzen Bank and Trust is a Minnesota-owned company? And they're one of the largest community banks around. That's a great combination. As a community bank, they're dedicated to their customers and the communities they serve. You might say they're big enough to help, small enough to care. Last March, they provided $20,000 in grants to 6 different Minnesota communities. They also processed well over 1,700 PPP loans, allowing local small businesses to keep their employees on the payroll during the pandemic. Franzen Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. Member FDIC.
Are you interested in a technical degree that can quickly help you land your dream career? Or maybe you've always dreamed of going to a 4-year college, but you'd like to start close to home. Either way, Pine Technical and Community College has you covered. PTCC offers more than 50 degrees in hot fields like healthcare information technology, advanced manufacturing, and business. PTCC is now accepting applications. Financial aid may be available online at pine.edu. Starting out or starting over, find your future at Pine Technical and Community College.
Minnesota Equipment reminds you that National Ag Week is March 21st through the 27th. Each American farmer feeds about 165 people, and agriculture is America's #1 export. That's really what Ag Week is all about, recognizing the role of agriculture and celebrating it. Minnesota Equipment celebrates local farmers and asks you to do the same. Highway 65 in Isanti or at minnesotaequipment.com.
This high school sports season, Wellia Health wants to remind you that they want to help your athletes stay in the game. Sports medicine services are available at every Wellia Health campus. Whether it's the young athlete, the weekend warrior, or the accomplished athlete, injuries can happen. Get back in the game by calling the sports medicine experts at Wellia Health, 320-679-1313. Wellia Health. Live life well.
Hanson Power and Lighting is your complete service electrical contractor, servicing residential and commercial for service calls, remodels, and new construction in your community. Now offering backup generator setups, electrical vehicle chargers, service upgrades, and underground feeders to outbuilding and pole sheds. Having an electrical project that needs a professional to handle it? Then let the experts take care of it for you. That's Hanson Power and Lighting. Give them a call, 612-369-5991.
Back here on Nice 95.5 FM KBK, the Princeton Tigers fall to the St. Francis Saints in a wild one in overtime, 59-58. Looking at the stat leaders here for the St. Francis Saints, no doubt it was Bothan with 22 points, 12 though for Derek Stone, and then 8 for Wesley Johnson, 6 for both Pavlitsky and Brady Johnson, and 3 for Jackson Skogquist, and 2 for Caleb Schoenrock. 11 rebounds for Bothan, 5 for Stone, and 4 for Johnson. They had 7 total steals, 4 in the second half, 3 in the first, and 15 total team fouls. 5 in the first half, 10 in the second. On the other side for the Princeton Tigers, Leading the way was Graham Peterson with 27 points, then 14 for Cooper Drews, 10 for Aaron Keekall, and 7 for Christian Williams. They had 6 total steals, 3 in the first, 3 in the second, and 16 total team fouls, 9 in the first, and 7 in the second. So the Princeton Tigers receive the runner-up trophy here in Section 5-3A, and sadly, they just misstate it. The Princeton Tigers had a chance to really drain the clock and pretty much put the game away, but sadly, turnover led to St. Francis getting the ball back, going down and scoring another 2 from Bothan. He put it up, and then Princeton had the play that they wanted. It set up the way they wanted. It played out the way they wanted, but unfortunately the shot just did not fall into the basket, because if it did, they were headed to state, but sadly the shot just didn't fall in for the Princeton Tigers, and the St. Francis Saints are on to state as they will represent Section 5 in Class 3A. Both teams had a fantastic season. The Princeton Tigers will finish at 22-6 on the year, and the Princeton Tigers runners-up in Section 5-3A. That's the tough part about playoffs, calling games playoffs. You see sadness and tears as the season comes to an end on one side. On the other side, you have utter jubilation as the Saints are headed to the state tournament. So this was a tough one. It was a fun one to call. It went to overtime as the Saints got it in overtime, 59-58. The Tigers with a fantastic season. They finished the year 22-6, runners-up in the section championship game, and again, just a fun, fantastic year for the Princeton Tigers, but they fall just short here in the championship game as St. Francis is headed to the state tournament. I want to thank all of you for tuning in here this evening, whether you were listening on the radio or maybe you found our YouTube and listened on there. Thanks so much for tuning in. Remember to, if you're listening on our YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube. That way you can get notified anytime we go live with a local sporting event. That's the red button there on the YouTube. So hit that like and subscribe button. That way you'll get notified anytime we go live with a local sporting event. Also, thanks to all the fine sponsors who sponsored this broadcast. Thanks to all of them for sponsoring not only this broadcast, but every other broadcast that we have done this year. Thanks so much to all of our fine sponsors for all the sponsors, or for all the games that they have sponsored this year. Thanks so much to all of them. Remember, you can catch the local sports update on 95.5 FM with Rock and Robin Riley at 7:30 and 8:30. You can also catch it over on 100.9 FM with Joshua Miron at 7:45 and 8:45. That's when you can catch your local sports updates. We'll talk about this game, recap some other games as well, and we'll also recap some regional sports as well as some national sports too. So stay tuned for your local sports updates on the morning shows. And again, remember to be kind to everyone. You never know what someone is going through, and your kindness could really make their day. The final here in this Section 5-3A championship game, the St. Francis Saints 59, the Princeton Tigers 58. So again, thanks to all of you for tuning in. Thanks to all the fine sponsors. And the final one more time, the Tigers fall to the St. Francis Saints 59-58. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. For WCMP and KBK and the whole Q Media group, I'm Ethan Game Day Gilman. Have a great rest of your night.